Got some white bass I caught yesterday, me and my nephew, and I'm going to show you guys how to clean them. And when you're done, these will taste just as good as walleye or any other fish. But you got to take one extra step that you normally wouldn't do with other fish. So let me go ahead and get started. So what you're going to do, you're going to take your finger and press in on the fin here, and it'll actually stand up. And then if you don't have an electric fillet knife, you can do the same thing with a traditional fillet knife. If you have one that's got a little bit more backbone, it's better for going through the bones, but since I don't have that right now, we'll not worry about that. And this knife's kind of old, so you're gonna see me sawing through a little bit more than what I probably should. So you're just gonna take it and you're gonna go down the backbone. And it actually helps because I put these in a cooler that they're actually going to be easier to clean. So what you're going to do now, I've gone down to the backbone, you're going to turn the knife. And one thing, I don't know if you can see this or not, don't try to get right on the backbone. Like this little bit right here is actually good, because what will happen is if you get too close to the backbone and you don't leave that little bit right there, it'll actually go through the backbone, and then you'll be cleaning up a bunch of bones out of your fillets. So we'll go ahead and go down, and you are going to ride it down. And if I had a better knife, this would go a little bit faster, but alright, so that's that. Then you're going to take it and you're going to skin it. Alright, so you got your rib cage there. You take your other knife and you're actually going to go, and you can do this with the electric knife too, but you're just going to go down and kind of just go around it. Now you are losing a little bit of meat, but if you got a lot of them, I mean, it's just the amount of time you spend trying to clean around the bones is not worth it. So, and it actually helps if you have two people. You can actually have one person to take out the bones, and then the other person can do the fillets. Alright, now I'll show you a bigger one, because the bigger ones are going to have this dark meat right here, and on white bass it tastes awful. Okay, so you can see this is a bigger fillet here, and you can see all this red meat in this one. You can actually, on the bigger ones, you can get rid of a lot of this by not skinning all the way down to the skin when you're taking the skin off. But if you get a sharp knife and you just kind of just graze the surface here, and don't worry so much about this middle area, it's more these little stripes that come down the side that they just run just below the surface of the skin, or the fillet, and you just get as much of that off there as you can. I go a little further. I try to get all of it off, but you don't have to necessarily. But the more you get off, the better it's going to taste. Alright, and then just get a little bit off of here. And it helps if you have a sharper knife. Okay, so what I do, and you don't have to do this, because you can do a V-cut and keep this all one fillet. But what I like to do is I like to just separate this little chunk here, and when I freeze them, I just put all the chunks in one thing, like with my crappie, my panfish. So you just take your knife and just kind of at an angle. Alright, and then you got that. And that one actually turned out pretty good. There's a little bit of that center line right there. You can just cut that off. But that's that. So you got one little chunk there, and then you're going to cut this whole center out. And like I said, do it at an angle back toward the bottom of the fillet. And I mean, you lose a little bit, but that dark meat in the center kind of goes at a V, so that doesn't taste very good. But then you're left with this, and then once you rinse this off, you can get a little bit of that red meat off there. It's all white meat. So hopefully that helped you guys. Got any questions, just let me know. We'll do another one here. Just pile them up over here. I'll take the rib cages out when I'm done.